So I think that's something that as an individual I focus on is controlling the controllables, and like a lot of things in life we can't control, but as an athlete and a student you can control how hard you work in both of those settings. Yes, I work really hard on the field, but I also work really hard in the classroom because you're setting yourself up for the rest of your life. So there's times where class is really hard and you have so many tests, but it's kind of that same mentality that I have on the field, just like to give it your all and work hard now because it will be easier later and you'll be rewarded later.
After opening the season with a pair of wins, the Monmouth women's lacrosse team gears up for another contest against former NEC foe Central Connecticut State.
I think a big piece of how we wanted our season to go and the scheduling that we chose for this season was about building momentum, and Central Connecticut was definitely part of that momentum build that we were hoping to check off. And so for us, it was important that we fixed a few things, made sure we were executing on both ends of the field, so it was definitely the momentum builder that we hoped it would be. When you get people in the game, there's a couple of things that happen. One, there's confidence that builds with the player. There's confidence that builds from the coaches. You know, we want to make sure that those players can play in game situations, so it's helpful for not only the player, but it's helpful for the coaching staff. And then also at the end of the day, this should be the most fun part of their day. So for everybody to be able to participate in a game situation, which doesn't always happen, is really exciting and fun and really brings back to sort of the main reason why we do this. Is it should be enjoyable, and it really allows everybody to be a part of the success that we're having in a very authentic way.
It's obviously from like top to bottom a really good day of lacrosse, a really fun day of lacrosse. Make sure that we maintain this momentum. We have practice tomorrow and we have a big week ahead of us. So everybody needs to lock in with their bodies, lock in with their rest, lock in with everything. We've got a hard couple of weeks ahead of us, but it starts tomorrow at practice, all right?
Yeah. All of us together.
Hawks on 3, 1, 2, 3. Hawks!
Following the dominant win over Central Connecticut, the Hawks quickly refocused their attention to the first big test of the season, Army.
We chose to have the schedule sort of build in difficulty. So Army was definitely our first challenge, and last year we had a really tough loss to them, and I think there was a lot of feelings, excitement, nerves going into that game, but everybody knew that was going to be our first big challenge.
The Black Knights came out firing with 5 goals in the opening 5 minutes. Stellar goaltending and a stout defense. Army pulled ahead early.
Going down 5-0 in the first 5 minutes of a game is never easy or fun to be a part of, and we sort of battled back and took responsibility for our game and the energy and mentality that we had that day, and battled through it. And again, we didn't get the win, but we definitely accomplished something that day.
Well, I think after we lost the Army game, there was a whole collective feeling from the whole team that everyone was upset, frustrated. We knew we could have done better. We could have won that game. It almost fueled us going into the Lehigh game.
I think that we've played good lacrosse up until this point. I'm ready for like an awesome day of lacrosse. I'm ready for that. You guys are ready for that. Let's go do it. Hawks on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Among the snow flurries, Monmouth started hot, with senior captain Rachel Mills scoring the first tally of the game. But Lehigh chipped away, rattling off 7 unanswered goals to end the first half, a deficit the Hawks would not overcome.
It was a challenge for us to have the losses mentally and emotionally, and I think we handled it. Everybody there wasn't two highs, there wasn't two lows. People just dealt with it, knew that we had to get better, took responsibility for what we needed to do to get better. There was no negativity or no questioning or anything like that. It was just put your head down and keep working, and let's focus on the things that need to be fixed.
So I think that's something that as an individual I focus on is controlling the controllables, and like a lot of things in life we can't control, but as an athlete and a student you can control how hard you work in both of those settings.
My first thing I do in the morning is go to Rook, because a day without Rook is a bad day. Then afterwards I'm going to trainer room with Jamie, going to get some treatment so I feel good before practice. Good morning! Okay, now I'm good. Going through my day.
I'm going to the gym. How's it going?
Good.
What are you up to?
Going to the training room, got a coffee, got Taylor Emmels coffee.
Teamwork.
Yep.
Have so much fun.
Good. How are you feeling?
Yes, I work really hard on the field, but I also work really hard in the classroom because you're setting yourself up for the rest of your life. As a biology major, my concentration is molecular cell physiology. So we focus a lot on the human body and like the anatomy. Specifically in this class, we focus on the development of the human body. So there's times where class is really hard and you have so many tests, but it's kind of that same mentality that I have on the field, just like to give it your all.
I think we have this opportunity on the lacrosse field, but there is such a big piece of this that is a part of academics, and so I want to make sure that we're pushing our kids to excel in both areas. They're more than capable of doing that, and so having high expectations of what we do on and off the field is very in line with how I want this program to be built.
Building the program off the field requires focus and attention to detail, something the Hawks needed in order to execute on the field against Rutgers. With a Big Ten opponent coming to West Long Branch, the team was determined to secure the victory at home. With a balanced attack and strong defense, the Hawks poured in 16 goals on the Scarlet Knights, a number too great for them to overcome.
This felt like we need to win this game, and you guys need to be able to prove that in a tight situation, in a stressful situation, in a must-do situation, and they did that. They beat Rutgers when we needed that win, when it was important to have it, when their back was a little bit against the wall, so to speak. But you know, we've harped on this. When we need something, you have to be able to do it, and they went out on the field on Wednesday, and they won because we needed to do it.
What's a Xenopus? Xenopus. That's what I'm doing today in my lab.
Is it a video? Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, here it is.